A group of women in Mexico has been busier than ever since the United States Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in June. They call themselves Las Libres, the free ones, and there is a big reason why they're now inundated with calls from nearly every corner of the U.S. More than a dozen states have instituted abortion bans or effective bans since that ruling, laws that in some cases include prison time for people who perform or aid the procedure. Many of those states also ban the use of the FDA-approved abortion pills mifepristone and misoprostol. People seeking abortions can order these pills from telemedicine providers who then mail them. In fact, exactly 1 year ago, the FDA decided to permanently allow abortion pills to be mailed. And that is where Las Libres comes in. The group has been providing abortion pills to women in Mexico for decades when abortion was first banned there. And now that millions of Americans have lost access to abortion, calls to providers like Las Libres for covert access to medication abortions, those calls have increased dramatically. This week, the Washington Post's Caroline Kitchener reports that the rise in medication abortions has rankled conservatives who thought that Dobbs was a big win, and they are now trying to do something about this. As the fight over access to these pills ramps up, it is quickly becoming the next frontier of the fight for anti-abortion conservatives. Joining us now is Caroline Kitchener, the Washington Post reporter who's been covering the politics of abortion. Caroline, thanks for being here tonight. Let me just first start with this new strategy and how feasible it actually is to try and trace women who have had medication abortions through sewage water. Is that even possible? Can you do such a thing with that kind of accuracy?
Well, it wouldn't so much be to trace the women as to their claim is that these medications are creating toxic water, and they are hoping to create some kind of injunction against these pills broadly. So the idea is to make abortion pills illegal, not just in Texas and Oklahoma, states that already have bans, but also in California and New York. That's the end goal for some of these groups that I think are growing increasingly desperate about, what they see as this catastrophic problem.
So they're effectively using an environmental argument to outlaw abortion pills. Is that what we're to glean from all of this? And do we think that that is something that's going to find favor with the court?
Exactly. I mean, I have learned covering this abortion beat that the things that sound wild, you should not dismiss. We've seen time and time again that the anti-abortion movement has come up with new and creative ways to crack down on this procedure. And oftentimes, especially in the past few years, they have been successful. So I think we have to wait and see how this plays out.
We also have reporting that Republicans in Texas are trying to they're trying to work on a bill that would block websites that lead women to go and get or access these abortion pills. It reminds me of other countries in the world where websites are blocked to cut back on people's personal freedoms. I won't go down that rabbit hole. But in terms of those efforts, where is that effort in the court system right now, and how favorable is the landscape in Texas, which of course has been leading the way in anti-choice legislation?
Well, Alex, Texas is very much a testing ground. They convene for their state legislative sessions once every 2 years, and it is the place to look if you're interested in what the rest of the country could be doing a few years from now or next year on the issue of abortion. So I've been watching them very closely, and one of the bills that they're drafting right now is, basically, censoring the internet, saying that, people in the state of Texas will not be able to go on these websites. And, even anti-abortion lawyers have told me that raises, really severe free speech concerns. So I think we'll have to see how it plays out. It really remains to be seen whether there's the political will for these kinds of extreme measures, especially what we saw in the midterms with abortion being so widely popular. I think it's a really big question how much support these Republicans are going to have when they push for these kinds of measures.
Yes, you would think the writing would be on the wall, and yet some people choose to look away. Caroline, you've been doing such great and important reporting on what's happening at the forefront of this really key issue. Thank you for your time and all the work that you're doing over there at the Post. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.